So this is a video on how to slice STL files into G-code for printing on PMC printers. So this is the software that we use. We use Prusa Slicer. It's the software that comes with all of the Prusa printers that we have. So the way you have to start off is you select your file by clicking the Add button. Find the file that you want. I'll just be slicing a Benchy. So there are some basic tools that you can use. You can create duplicates, like copies of individual objects, by hitting the plus and minus buttons. If you want to remove a duplicate, the minus button. If you have more than one object and you would like to automatically arrange them, you can hit that button. There are some basic tools that we have to manipulate objects. So you can obviously move them around on the build plate, scale them in the 3 axes, rotate them, and lay them flat on some different sides. So this is useful especially for more complicated models where the auto placement might not be the best option. So it always works best if you try to print on a flat surface. So I'll just do the bottom and go to realign that. The next most important thing is you need to select the correct printer that you're going to be printing on. That would be in the printer dropdown. So we've got all of the different options that we have in our lab, like the Prusa i3 Mark III's. That's what I'll be using for this demonstration. So you select your printer. You can select where you would like supports to occur. Usually having them occur everywhere is a good option. And we always encourage people to use brims on their print. A brim is basically going to extend the bottom layer out by about 5 or so millimeters on all sides, just giving it more surface area to adhere to the bed. It usually results in, or it usually gives better results. Then you can select infill. Usually 20% or 15% is more than enough. That's more than enough for just a decorative model. If you have a little cube that's 20% infill made out of PLA, that can hold an adult person. It's actually quite strong. You can select the different type of filament here. The only ones that we really ever use are PLA, which is the best general purpose one. PETG, which is a stronger version of PLA, but it prints at a higher temperature and it's a little bit more finicky. And also ABS. ABS is very difficult to print with, so we usually discourage especially new people from using it, but it can provide some very good models if done correctly. So for this demonstration, we're just going to be using PLA. And then there are some basic profiles that we have set up. Like for the Prusas, these are some of the default ones. So this first number is layer thickness. Usually 2% is a good middle ground, or I'm sorry, 2.2 millimeters is a good middle ground. If you go up to 0.3 millimeters, you'll get much quicker print times, but a much rougher looking model. If you're planning on sanding or doing any post-processing, that will be fine, or this will work just fine for you. If you're doing something like a D&D mini or something that requires extremely high detail, going down to a much lower layer height, like 0.05 millimeters, which is the smallest we can do, that will give you much better results. So we'll just use 0.2 millimeters for this example, and then you hit the slice button. It'll take some time to do all of the math and figure out all of the paths that it needs to take. And once this bar is done, then we can actually export it. But in the meantime, if you feel like you want more control over the print, you're welcome to go into the print settings and edit any of these profiles. We just ask that you save it as a new profile. You can just put your name in it or whatever. There are all kinds of different options in here that you're welcome to play around with. We just ask that you don't edit any of the default, or don't change any of the default profiles. So our G code is finished. You can use the slider here to actually go and look through the model and see some of the support material inside, or infill material. We go to export it. We'll go and save it to our SD card. When you save a G-code file, you must put your name in it so that we know who is printing what. And if your print fails, we know who to message on Discord, that kind of thing. So we'll save that once this is finished. All right, now we can go and take our SD card over to the printer.